everybody, good morning to everybody in Australia and good evening to everybody in America. My name's Nicole and I'm just coming to do a bit of a live cam and just to introduce myself before we get started on the block of the month, and so you can ask some questions and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just gonna make sure that everything's running okay and check that we're live. So if you are here, can you just comment below where you're from, and so we can see where everybody's from. I might not be able to see the comments, but I'm still learning the ropes with live chat. So I can see there that some little hearts and wow faces and everything are coming up, so I can see that you're seeing this. So yeah, so I'm just going to check my settings and I'll be back with you just a second, and that'll just give a chance for everybody to come and join in the fun. Alrighty, okay, I can see people starting to comment and say where they're from. Hi Biz, how you going? We're just going to wait for a couple of more minutes for a few more people to come in. Sorry about, just my apologies for yesterday. We had some major technical issues, as you would have seen on some of the posts that I put up. We got it sorted out in the end. It took a little while. What had happened was Facebook had updated a couple of days beforehand, and this happens, I've got my settings, so this happens at night, so I don't actually see it happening and I don't realize. So yeah, it updated and it stopped my camera from working, so I actually couldn't see anything at my end. So today basically what I can see is I can see my face, I can see the comments coming up. Thanks Sarah. And yeah, so I can see the comments coming up and I can see the thumbs up and all that sort of stuff. So do bear with me when I get used to doing this. Yeah, and as I said, yes, in the short video that I put up, that we had technical issues with that as well. It turned out that it was a Facebook issue because I was later on during the day, I was able to upload the video again and it worked fine. With the live chats, I'm a little bit concerned because I'm a public group that we're going to get people that aren't actually in this group or haven't been added being able to see it and possibly putting up derogatory or just being painful basically in the comments. If you see any of those, please report them. If you can, delete them, just to keep the newsfeed nice and clean. So yeah, so basically we think we've sorted out the technical issues. It will be the things that we will check before we actually go live. I did learn something yesterday, how to do a live audio without actually having a picture, so that's going to be great for interviews and stuff like that I want to do later on down the track. But you're all here to know about the block of the month. I am currently uploading the video. It's I'm in a rural area, so it's taking a little bit longer, so it'll probably be a couple more hours before it goes live. I'll actually put a notification here when it has gone live, because some of you would have toddled off to bed because of the different time zones and everything like that. So thanks Biz. Yeah, so basically that's uploading at the moment. The blog is ready to go, and I'm going to, once that video is uploaded, I'm going to simultaneously put the blog post and the video up together. I do have a few affiliate links in both on YouTube and on Blogger, and that's for things like your basics that you might not have, so like rulers and cutting mats, and maybe the best press if you've never tried it before. So those links are there, you can click on them if you want to, you don't have to. So yeah, so basically Beck's just given me the big thumbs up in Messenger to let me know that it's working fine. She's not here at the moment, so but we did we got there in the end yesterday. So yeah, so there's some affiliate links there. I do really appreciate everybody sharing this group and being really excited about the block of the month, and really encouraging me to keep going with this, because it is a lot of hard work and I am learning on the fly. Yeah, so I am trying to hi Kathleen, haven't seen you around for a while, how are you? Yeah, so basically I'm trying to learn everything on the fly and keep the activity going in the group and just make it a really happy, sharing, caring sort of place. And I hope that you're all enjoying your time in here. I have seen a lot of chatter and people coming in and people that haven't connected for a little while because we've been busy with Christmas and all that sort of stuff. Now, I did go over the rules and everything yesterday, but they're pinned at the top of the group. So if you're not sure about where they are, if you scroll to the top of the page in the group, you'll see a pinned post. That's on your laptop, and it's right at the top. It'll be the first thing that you see every time you log in onto your computer or onto your laptop. And if you're on a tablet or a mobile phone, there's usually up the top of your screen, it'll say usually like you've opened up Facebook. This is an old phone, so it doesn't work. So you open up Facebook, and usually up at the top of the screen, just underneath the cover photo, there'll be a pinned post. If you click on that, that will take you to the pinned post, and then you can read it under there. It has a little bit of an explanation of why Hi Beck. It's got a bit of an explanation of why I started this group. I've been wanting to do it for quite some time. I have been quilting for about 10 years now, and I live in Australia, for those that don't know, and I mostly long arm quilt, so I don't get a chance to practice my patchworking because I'm always on the long arm machine. So I was trying to think of a way that I could keep my technique up and also share my abilities with other people. And also I live in a remote sort of area of Queensland, like I'm 3 hours away from a major or regional area or a major city. So while I'm very lucky where I live, we have a lot of patchwork shops, and there's a lot of creative, crafty people. So I am lucky where I live, but some other people aren't so lucky. And so I decided, after throwing some ideas around with some of my students and my family, we decided that we were going to do a free online block of the month, and to do it through the medium of YouTube and Blogger. So that meant that I had to learn a lot very quickly, because this was only decided I think it was at the end of September, and then I didn't get to look at it again through commitments and everything until a bit later on. What makes you sad? Who's sick? Sarah? What's that? Okay, that worries me. All right, no worries. I got a little bit distracted then, sorry about that. Yeah, so that's why I started this, and I decided that I'd start it fresh in the new year, fresh new project, fresh new learning for everybody. So I hope that you stick around and you join me throughout the year. Please, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kathleen, that she's sick. It's not good when bubbas are sick. They're so helpless. I hope she gets better soon. So yeah, I hope you stick around and stay for the duration of the block of the month. My video skills are very limited at the moment, but I've done the best that I can. It looks really good from what I can see. I can see what I'm trying to say. I've also put in a transcript in the blog, so you can actually click on that and download it, and then you can have that as a supplementary it sort of complements the YouTube video and the blog post. It's there, so you can actually have them side by side. And thanks to a comment from Sarah in another group that we're in, I went back and checked to make sure that they're corresponding with each other, and I think I got it, so there shouldn't be any confusion. Linda is actually currently working on the block at the moment, and she has been giving me some feedback. I've gone in and changed a few things, a couple of things that I missed, so that was great. Thank you very much for that, Linda. I really do appreciate that. More than you realize, because sometimes when you're typing these things out, you think you've seen it, but it's not actually there, because you're thinking it, but it hasn't come out, and you haven't got it down. So yeah, so I've gone in and double checked it and made sure that all the measurements were correct, that I haven't made any errors, and so from where I'm sitting, it's looking pretty good. I'm just waiting for some more feedback from Linda once she gets along a little bit further, and I'll realise that she's busy, and I may have to go in and change things. If I do change anything, I will definitely come in and tell you guys that I've changed something because something wasn't quite working. So on the block, there's one thing that I will say: you really do have to be accurate with your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So if you haven't measured your seam allowance, it would be a good idea to check that it is a 1/4 inch. Now, it's super easy to do that. All you need to do is get a couple of pieces of scrap fabric, sew it as it is on your machine. So go to your machine either after this, or you can do it now while I'm still here. Basically what you do is just go and sew your 1/4 inch, grab your ruler after you've done it, and then just measure it from the edge of the fabric, from your raw edge to that seam where your cotton starts, and just measure that and see if it's a 1/4 inch. If it's a little bit less, so like a thread less of a 1/4 inch, that's okay, because that's a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, and a lot of quilting blocks use a scant 1/4 inch. Now, if it's not, don't stress. You can just move your needle a little bit if you have that function on your machine. If not, just leave it as it is. It just means that your block will be slightly smaller when you get to the end, but you will still have 1/4 inch all the way around, so you will be okay. But as I said, if you have thank you, Biz. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, so if you are having any troubles, by all means, come in and ask the questions. There are no silly questions. Please don't feel shy. If you still feel shy, please inbox me. I'm happy to help you. But just bear in mind that I am in Australia. It is around 11 o'clock right now. So have a look at the clock where you're sitting and see what time it is, so you know that when I'm going to be awake and when I'm not. There, yeah, so just ask questions. And also Linda's there as well, and she's actually in the Northern Hemisphere, so she's awake while I'm generally sleeping, because I need lots of sleep. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about too is I touched on it yesterday about rulers. Now, I do have an affiliate link there with my favorite rulers, which are OmniGrid, and the reason that I like OmniGrid rulers is because you can see here, they are awesome. They basically have the marks on them that you need, and if I can get close enough and focused enough, you should be able to see them. Okay, so can you see those little notches in the top there? They are, your small ones are your eighth of an inch, and your larger ones with the line going down to your 1/4. Now, most of the time we're using that 1/4 inch mark all the time, and you can see that goes all the way down the ruler. So these would be my favorite, and they also have your 45-degree angle as well for squaring up or cutting on the diagonal, and you've also got your 60 as well. So that one there is a 6-inch ruler, and it's an awesome little ruler. I use it all the time. And the other one that I use when I'm doing smaller blocks, I tend to use this one, and this one is just a little one, and it's got all the marks that you need. So you can see there, it's got your 8, I think it's even got 16s on this one, so you've got 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and 1/4 of an inch, and it is actually gridded really well as well. But in the smaller section here, you can see that there is the straight lines as well, so that helps out. And I use that quite a bit when I'm doing smaller squares and whatnot. So if you've got any, as I said to yesterday, I am going to do up on Sunday. I'm doing up just a quick tutorial on how to cut and use your rulers correctly. It's not going to be on YouTube. It's going to be in this group, and it'll be under the videos tab. So on the side of your computer, if you're looking at the group right now, on the side underneath the name of it, there'll be videos. If you click on that, it'll be listed in there, so you'll be able to find that, and you can go back to that any time that you want. It'll be there. It'll never be removed or anything like that. So anytime you're struggling with your cutting, you can go in and have a look. It's very basic. It's seriously, it's going to change your cutting. Thanks, Sarah. I'm glad you got a lot out of it. So yeah, so basically that'll be there for you. And just while we are on the, I've just got some issues going on here. Things are flashing at me. So while I'm on the subject of the YouTube channel, I won't be just posting up the block of the month. I'll be also doing a few videos on different types of crafts. So some of the older crafts that have seemed to be forgotten that I really loved as a kid. So some of the things that I want to do is some string art. And when I say string art, it's where you've got the nails in your canvas and you string it around and whatnot. I used to love doing that as a kid, and I think that a lot of people would like doing that again. So basically what I'm thinking of doing is just looking at some of those older crafts that we did as children and as teenagers even, because I've been crafting all my life. I've done everything from latch hook right through to quilting, and I've tried a little bit of this and that and whatnot. So I want to share that with you guys because I'm very passionate about keeping some of the old things that I don't like things to get lost. So I hope you enjoy some of the tutorials that I put up there for you. And I'm also still working on my camera angles and trying to get the right angle and the right like widescreen view of everything. So there'll be a little bit of trial and error. I would love to hear from you either in the comments here or on the YouTube channel of different things that you would like me to cover. So if you've got an idea of a craft that and you think that I may know something about it, by all means please put a comment in the comments down underneath any video and just let me know what you want to see, and I'll try and get a video done. I'm aiming for 2 a month at this point, but I am going to increase that to about 4 a month. So Friday seems to be the day that I'm going to be uploading it. There's 2 reasons for that. I have classes here in store, and so I can have the computer running in the background and everything uploading while I'm teaching the class. And it is also just before the weekend, so it gives you a chance to duck off and grab your supplies, and then you've got something to do for the weekend, because most people don't get to craft during the week. I guess some of us are very lucky and we get to do that, but some of us aren't. So yeah, so Friday seems to be the day that is working for me at the moment. So I'm going to sort of keep it at that Friday time schedule. If that changes, again, I will put a notification in the group for you. So at this point, if anybody's got any questions at all, I can see that there's about 12 of us up here at the moment, and just any question that you might have, if you can put that up and I can possibly answer that for you, whether it's here in live chat or a bit later on, and I can get to that for you. Any concerns that you might have, feel free to inbox me, or you can put the question up here now, because someone else might be just wondering the same thing and might not want to ask. So please do ask the questions. I would really appreciate that. So yeah, so once everything gets up and running, I would love to see everybody share everything that they've been making. Like, even if it's not off my YouTube channel, I still love to see what people are creating, and yeah, because I mean, we get inspiration from one another as well, which is really, really good. And Nicole has so much wisdom. Oh. Thank you, Beck. Beck has been helping me. For those who don't know who Beck is actually been, she lives around the corner from me, and we've met through Girl Guides and our kids, and basically we've hit it off, and we have been crafting for the last couple of weeks, and she's been helping me with my applique stuff, which is very time consuming, and I'm trying to get a lot of my samples for the in-store classes that I run. I'm trying to get them done, and yeah, and basically she has been here getting cramps in her hands from cutting with the scissors and that, because there's been a lot of small things that she's had to work on. But we are coming down to the business end of the applique. We're all now starting to put everything down on onto the background, and then we'll be ready for quilting, sewing, and all the things that we've got to do. We've got some cute samples coming up. So yeah, so that's why Beck's been with me, and she was a godsend yesterday, helping me trying to figure out everything that was going on. Okay, so Valerie, you're still confused about how to find the videos for the block of the month. I keep looking at YouTube, but no luck. Will all the bombs be? Yes, they will all be on. They will definitely all be on the YouTube channel. Now, the first block hasn't gone live yet, Valerie. It will go live at some stage today. I live in a rural area, so my internet is slightly slow. So it's going to take a little while. So in the next couple of hours, it should be up. And I will definitely put a notification here into the group, so you'll be able to see when it's gone live, and I will put a link directly to that video. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm still setting up my channel at the moment, and basically what will happen when you go in there, and I haven't got my channel trailer yet, I'm still working on that. And what will happen is you'll go into to YouTube and you'll see playlists, and that block of the month will be, I've named it Block of the Month 2018. So everything that is relevant to the block of the month, so every block will be in that playlist, and you can save that playlist as well. So from my understanding and from what I've read, every time I add a video to that playlist, it will be in the playlist that you saved. Okay, other than that, you can actually create a playlist for yourself and put it in your account. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, Valerie. And if you're still having trouble, please let me know. Shoot me an inbox, and where I think you've sent me an inbox before, but just add me on Messenger and I will get all your messages then. So, and that's the same for anybody else. Anybody else that's having issues sending me personal inboxes, please just add me on Messenger. I'll accept that, and then that way we can to and fro in inbox if that's how you prefer to communicate. I understand that not everybody's very vocal on Facebook, so yeah, my private account, basically it makes it very hard for people to send me messages sometimes, so just go in and do that. Add me on Messenger, because you can do that now, because Facebook and Messenger are a separate entity. Okay, so I hope that helps with the YouTube thing. There's also, when you go, there's also going to be a blog post too, so it'll have the written instructions on what to do step by step, because not everybody wants to watch a video, and I understand that, so I have it in two places. So basically what will happen is there'll be two links. There'll be one for the blog, and if you end up landing on the blog, then what will happen, there'll be places where it'll say click here and it will take you to the video, or click here and it will let you download the cutting instructions. Okay, so hopefully that will make sense for you, and if it doesn't, inbox me. Okay, so thanks very much for that question, Valerie. That was awesome, because a lot of people may have been having the same issue. From what I can see, everybody that has asked me if they have subscribed, from what I can see, they have, unless of course you have a private account. If you have a private account, I cannot see it. I don't know, like I've got at this point I think there's 86. Okay, if you go up to the pinned post, Valerie, there are links there for both YouTube and also the blog. Okay, and it's blogger, it's Darvanalee Designs .blogspot.com.au, and it's up there though. The links are both in the pinned post, and it's down towards the bottom. So yes. Thanks, Kathleen. My accent, oh my god. If only you heard me how I hear me. Oh, it's not that great. But thank you. Yeah, so hopefully you can find that. Now the pinned post, Valerie, is at the top of the page. Okay, so if you're coming in on your laptop, it will be the first post that you see. Click on that, or it'll say see more or continue reading. Click on that and it will it's not letting you. Oh, sorry Lisa, I don't know why. You might have to go out and come back in, refresh your screen. There is a little play button, I know, when I came in, and you had to hit that, so just try that. Sorry that you can't get in, Lisa. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, Oh, no need to be sorry, Valerie. These questions need to be asked. If you're not familiar with using these platforms, then these questions need to be asked, and you may not be the only one that's having issues, so never be sorry for asking a question. I'm happy to explain anything that you need to know, as long as I know about it. And as I said, I am still learning. But the pin post has both the YouTube channel and it also has my blog up there as well. And as I said, both of them are going to be complementary to one another. So if you land on the blog, there'll be, you find the video here, and then you click on that and it'll shoot you straight off to where the video is. Okay, so yeah, so that's it's super easy. You've just got to click on the links, hun, and it'll open up and take you where you've got to go. Now the rulers, don't stress if you don't have the small rulers. I've seen that, I think that was Gwenny that put it up there. If you've got a 12.5 inch ruler, that's fine. Just use your 12.5 inch ruler. So this is my 12.5 inch ruler. I just don't like to use this all the time because it's big, and I'm working, like, my studio is not a massive studio, so yeah, it's big, so I like to just use the littler ones. So in comparison, for cutting smaller squares, you can see the difference. But I always have this one with me because that will help me when I'm squaring up at the end. So yeah, so basically it's okay if that's all you've got. That's fine. That's definitely fine. So I just have all different sorts of rulers because I do all sorts of different things, and they're not all the same brand, but I'm really loving the OmniGrid brand. It made it super easy. But when I do a cutting tutorial, as some of you may know, because we were in another group that we made a quilt for a lady, and I did a quick tutorial there. As some of you may know, I have a yellow, very fluorescent yellow ruler that I cannot remember where I got it from. I think I said it was a gift or something like that. Okay, so if you've got lots of smaller ones, Gwenna, just, yeah, use whatever you're comfortable with, hun. It's all good. I'm just getting this ruler. But this is another one that I use. It's very basic. And I use this one for squares too, because you can see on the, I don't think you can see that. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, so on the, you can see on the 45-degree angle here, which is the angle that's going from corner to corner. See all those arrows there? That actually helps me when I'm squaring and squaring up my half square triangles. This is probably one of my favorite ones for squaring up a half square triangle. Mainly because, there we go, you can see it a bit better now. Okay, so what happens is I lay this here, okay, this 45-degree angle on the seam of a half square triangle, and it makes it really easy to, whatever measurement I need to get, it makes it really easy to have the corner in here. So the video will cover that on Sunday when it goes up. So yeah, so basically yeah, you just use whatever ruler you like. So, and I've got tons of different sizes and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Alrighty, and I think that's about all I've got to really cover today. Just make sure you clean out your machine. Give your machine a really good clean out before you start. It makes a huge difference. And you know what? I'm terrible for it. I forget to do it all the time. Now, my long arm machine, never forget. Every quilt that I'm doing, I clean out the bobbin, I clean out the machine, I make sure that it's all ready to go. And yeah, and basically, but on my domestic machine, I always forget, the posties just arrived, excuse me for a sec. I always forget to clean out my domestic machine. So basically what you need to do is make sure that you pull your bobbin out, you give it a good clean out. If your machine requires oiling, if you're using an older machine, put a drop of oil in there, not too much, just a drop, because over oiling your machine can actually make it run very badly. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. See ya.
See ya. So basically, yeah, just make sure you clean it out and don't put too much oil in there if your machine requires oiling, because what will happen is it could throw your tension out, because some fluff could get stuck into the bobbin or anything like that. It can do a whole heap of different things, and it can also make your fabric a little bit dirty too, because you're going down into that bobbin and then you're bringing it back up through the fabric, and you could get a little mark there. So very, 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 very lightly the oil, but give it a really good clean out. Make sure you change your needle. My recommendation for piecing, and it's probably different to everybody else's, but my recommendation for piecing is an 80/12 universal, or a quilting needle. I have used a top stitch needle at that size because they're quite sharp, and they work really well. I like them, and they last a little bit longer for piecing. The needle size again is 80/12 universal or quilting, but I sometimes use the top stitch ones because they're sharp. And I will put all that. That's generally that is all in the preparation post I think I put up. I put that in there. So yeah, so if you go in and have a look at that, have a bit of a read of that again, and that again is under the block of the month because it's a preparation for the block of the month. And change your rotary cutter blade. I again don't do this because I'm used to cutting and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, change that. It makes it so much easier to cut. I've gone, to cut a heap of blocks and whatnot, and then I'm thinking, gee, this is not cutting, and I'm like, oh well, when was the last time I changed my rotary cutter blade? And then I think about it and I'm like, yeah, that's been months. So change that up before any new project. It just makes life so much easier, and it also makes for accurate cutting because you don't have to go back over that, and like your threads won't pull, everything will cut nicely. So when it's getting dull, you'll start to get little notches where it's not cutting all the threads all the way through. So yeah, so make sure that you do that. It makes a big difference. Okay, another question that Valerie has, Will we be able to print out the BOM instructions and list? Yes, you will be able to print that out. About just where the cutting instructions start on the blog, it actually has, and I will tell you, but to make sure, I'll just bring that up, so just bear with me for a sec. Okay, it will actually say, I'm just going into my post that I haven't put up yet. It's not up there yet. Okay, I'm just looking at what I've got in front of me before it goes live. Okay, so just under the cutting instructions on the post, there is it says cutting instructions. You will find your printable cutting instructions here, and the here is actually highlighted in blue. So, and if you click on that, that will open up a link. It is working, the link, because I've tested the link, but as we learned yesterday, very much the hard way, things do go wrong. So Linda will still possibly be awake, or Beck might be here, so she might be able to test it not from my end, but actually test it on a neutral end and make sure that it's okay. If there's any issues by the time you guys wake up tomorrow, it will all be sorted, because like in most places at the moment it's about 8 o'clock. I know it's about 10 for Biz. There's a few people at 5. Elizabeth Sawyer's probably the one that's going to wake up first because it's 1 a.m. for her over there. So about 1:30 actually. So basically, by the time you wake up tomorrow, any sort of glitches, it should be fine. So you had no trouble, Linda, printing it. It came out fine. Okay, yep, I just said that, and had no trouble printing it. Okay, so what I'm concerned about at the moment is that when the blog post goes live, that it may give us a bit of grief, because it is actually a shareable link now, and it's through Google Drive. So basically when you click on it, it will just open up in like a drive, and you don't need to download it to Adobe or anything, because it's just written instructions and measurements. So as long as you can read those written instructions and measurements, you'll be fine. So basically you can just then print it off. There'll be a little icon up at the top of the screen, so it'll have a download arrow and then a little printer. This is how it opens up on mine in Drive. And basically you hit on that printer, and as long as your printer's connected to your Air printer or your laptop, it will print off. And you've got the choice of printing it off in color, or you can print it off in black and white if you so choose. That's entirely up to you. And there'll be 3 files there for you to download. One will be the printable cutting instructions The second one is a colouring in page, so it's just the outline of the block, and you can print that off and you can play with your colour. If you haven't chose your fabrics yet, or your colours, or you're struggling with that, you can sit there with your colouring in pencils and have a bit of a play and just relax and colour in. And there's also a transcript, so everything that you read on the blog can also be printed off, and you can have it beside your sewing machine, and you can use it in complements with the YouTube video. Okay, so is there any other questions that anyone might have? I'll give it a couple of seconds for it to come up, because I'm pretty sure there's about a 20-minute lag. 20-second lag. Okay, like, I'm super excited as well. I can't wait for this to get go live for you guys. I can't wait. The colouring in is fun. I often I think a lot of people miss that, the sitting down and colouring in and getting creative before they actually make the block can sometimes be just as much fun as making the block, and I love it. Like, if I'm struggling with a quilt on what colours to use, I always colour it in. I print off an outline of it, and yeah, and I just colour it in, and you find that you just you just drift off. Okay, what is the time difference between you and Eastern Standard? Eastern Standard Time here in Australia, I'm on Eastern Standard Time, but at the moment we have daylight saving here, if I'm understanding your question right, Sarah. We have daylight saving here in Australia, and so Queensland doesn't have daylight saving. So we have all our different states. Northern Territory is on a different time to me. So for me right now, it's 11:30. Okay, where you are, Sarah, it's about 8:30. And I know this because when we sent that quilt to you, I was constantly monitoring the time to see if it was getting delivered. So yeah, so it's 11:30 here in Sydney. It is 12:30. Melbourne, it is 12:30. And then there is a different time in South Australia, a different time in Northern Territory, and WA is actually 2 hours behind me. I think Northern Territory is about an hour and a half. But if you look for, where are you? So Linda's in PA, which is, I'm not too sure where that is. And I'm 15 hours ahead of Linda. Okay. Yes, it is Friday morning here in Australia. That's correct. So what that means is that my Friday is when I'm putting the block up, but I'm not putting it till the afternoon on Friday. So it made it I wasn't sure when I was going to put it up. I was originally going to just put it up first thing in the morning, like have it all done and ready to go for first thing in the morning. But then I thought, well, that might add some confusion because we're in the group. I'm always saying Friday, and then you guys will go, oh, but it's gone live up on Thursday. So what I've decided to do, and this has come from other groups that I've been in, and I've decided that I'm going to do it in the afternoon. So that way, when you guys wake up on Friday morning, it'll be already there because it'll upload during the night while you guys are sleeping. But it'll be in the afternoon for us here in Australia. I'm hoping that it will be around about 3 o'clock. But as I said, I live in a rural area, and sometimes our internet just is a little bit slow. It just doesn't like to upload things. So I can only do the best with what I've got here where I live. So I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit quicker this afternoon. I'm trying to put it up in a time where I know that it's not heavy usage of internet and stuff like that. I am on broadband, so it does go quick. I'm not on dial-up or anything like that. So if it was on dial-up, we'll be here next week. We should just move to Australia for a year. Okay, that'd be funny. You saw rock up. An invasion, oh no. That'd be awesome if some of you's got to come over. It would be great. Now, I was asked a question in inbox this morning, actually, by Miss Tiffany. We were talking yesterday about her coming to Australia. She always wants to go, and she said that she'd like to hit me up for some places to visit, and I said there's awesome places to visit here. And then we got talking about she's seen somewhere that I had a retreat. And so, yes, I do have retreats. I'm having 2 this year. So the one in May is already sold out, and the one in, and this is not necessarily for anybody in the northern hemisphere, but if you want to come, I mean, come. I'd love to meet you in person and welcome you with open arms and just have a great time with you. So, but just for those here in Australia that are looking to go for retreats for somewhere different from where they live, I'm actually running 2 retreats this year. As I said, the May one is sold out, and I've got one going live in September, and I'm just trying to think of the date off the top of my head. I don't actually have it written in front of me. I think it's about the 7th, but in February I'm actually going to put that up for sale. So we're just working out some finer details at the moment, because where we have the retreats, which is the Bunya Mountains in southern Queensland, where we have the retreats, they have different times, and I'm still nutting out with them where they're going to charge me only the one price, because I don't want to pay extra for peak times and all the rest of it. So I'm trying to work it so it keeps the cost down. The one in May was $320, and that was all inclusive of food. The only thing you have to work out is your supplies and stuff like that. So the weather in September is spring here, Valerie. So it's still a little bit cool, but I'm in Queensland, so my cool and your cool could be your summer, because I don't know where you're from, Valerie. So if you've got snow right now, my spring's going to be like your summer, I'd say. So yeah, so basically that will go live in February sometime. I don't actually have the date of when I'm gonna put that up for sale. And then in 2019, I'm actually looking at booking 4 for the year. And I don't know the dates at this point, but they should be set in the next 2 to 3 months. We're just looking at schedules and bookings and all that sort of stuff. So basically what we do is we hire 2 chalets. It is a small group. We don't have a lot of people come. We cap it at 23 plus me and a co-host. The first one is just me hosting with my daughter, who is 13 and very, very crafty and can help you with lots of different things. And then the second one, I don't think Sarah's in, Sam is in here at the moment. She's in WA traveling with her husband. Basically, Sam is designing a bag, because I do bag and quilting retreats in one, because I am a bit of a bag lady. I do like my bags, and so does Sam. So Sam has been nice enough to design one that she's been working on. She's been nice enough to say that she'll come along and teach that. So you'll actually get that before it goes on the open market. So we're still working out the details for September, as I said, but as soon as I know everything is in place and we're ready to go, I will definitely put it up in the group first, so you will all have an option. Will there be sewing machines? Sarah, yeah, I do have sewing machines, because I have Wendy from the Crafty Gemini Quilt Club. She's coming, and Leah Lynch, they're both coming, and they're flying in. So Wendy's flying in from New South Wales, and Sam's picking her up from the airport, because Sam lives near the airport. So she's picking up, and I've got another lady coming from Cairns. And between Sam and we actually have quite a few sewing machines. They will be our personal sewing machines. I'm in talks with Singer at the moment, but with holidays and everything, the people that I need to talk to are on break, so I can't say whether they are actually going to be brand new machines, or whether they're just going to be mine and Sam's. So at this point we have our personal machines, and I have a few. I have an old Singer which I can take up, because I live close to where the retreats are held, so, and my hubby will be able to bring anything up that we need, because there's no actual shops there. And it's beautiful. Like I'll post up some pictures of the view and stuff of where we stay. The September one is definitely booked. I just waiting on, like, the dates are booked. Just waiting on a few more details to come in, and I'm hoping that will be sooner rather than later. So as soon as I know anything, guys, you will be the first to know. Okay, so wonder how long the flight is from here. It's long. I can tell you, I don't know how long it is, but it's long. It takes a long time to get to Australia, and I think usually they have a stopover. I know, as long as it's not September the 8th, I think it is September the 7th. Oh, there you go. Sarah's actually saying it's 25 hours, Valerie. So it's a long trip. I know when my husband went to England, he had a stopover in Dubai, I think he said. And yeah, they stopped there, and then he went on from there to Heathrow Airport. So I've not travelled that far. I've only gone as far as Asia myself, and just to get to Sophie studied at uni in Sydney during her junior year, and it sucked. Yeah, it is a long trip, and especially especially if you've got young kids and stuff like that, it'd be a nightmare to travel, I think. I would definitely break it up a bit if you are going to come here. I would possibly break it up, like stopping somewhere like Dubai, maybe, and then coming, you know, just make a big trip of it, and sort of stop at a couple of places, maybe have a 2-day layover, just to break it up a little bit for you. And then yeah, so it can get quite hectic, the traveling and whatnot. And I know when I've gone to Asia just from Australia, it's been a 7-hour flight. So when I went to Singapore, it was about 7.5 hours from memory. But I've got young kids, so I haven't traveled overseas for a long time. And yeah, 2003 was the last time I went overseas. So it's very expensive to fly from here to anywhere. I don't know what the flights are. Sounds like it would be an awesome trip. It would be. You are literally going to the other end of the world. That is very true, Sarah. It is the other end of the world, hence the down under. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful place here, and you know, I'm planning on getting to America sooner rather than later. There has been talk, a few people have asked me to come over and do retreats, and just so you know, that is not off the table. I have talked to my husband about it, just, you know, just in general conversation and whatnot, and he thinks it's a great idea. So I may be there sooner than you think. So if you can't afford to, and Violet Crumble, you and your Violet Crumbles, Sarah. So if you can't afford to come to Australia, don't worry, ladies. I am hoping to save my little tookus off and get over there and maybe run a retreat. You just never know what's going to happen and what's around the corner. So at this point, I've been on here for 40 minutes talking my little butt off and talking your ear off. So I'm going to call it a day at that one. And as I said, when you wake up, ladies, there will be a block of the month. If you've got any problems at all, just basically send me an inbox. If you're having any issues and I'm sleeping, Linda will have probably made the block by then, and so she'll have a much better idea of how it goes together and all that. It's not a difficult block. Don't be put off by the look of it. It is an easy, it is an easy block. Okay, so don't be put off by it. Give it a go. Step out of that comfort zone, and I'm here to help you. Linda's here to help you, and so is everybody else. Okay, and if you are a beginner, please give it a go. You're going to really, really enjoy it. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a great time, and I look forward to talking to you again as soon. I'm hoping to do a live chat at least once a week, maybe once a fortnight, until we get really in the swing of things, and I learn the technology a little bit more. So yeah, if you've got any questions, shoot me an email, shoot me an inbox, and I'll be happy to answer. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.